Andrew's trying to avoid talking about Chris Rock's stand-up special because he don't like talking about other people's stand-up specials, but he's going to talk about it today. You know what I mean? Chris Rock's stand-up special that we saw this weekend, Selective Outrage. That's the other thing I saw. I saw a lot of good entertainment this weekend. Thoughts? Whoever wants to go first. Nyla hated it because she's 12.
I didn't hate it. I did not hate it. I told you, my dad called me saying how amazing it was. But the first half of it was him like going in on his daughter, so I thought my dad was like being subliminal about
What the fuck? See, I'm talking about. This is why it's hard to entertain. Not even just hard to entertain, hard to do anything in front of these cameras because people don't actually allow themselves to feel what's happening. All they do is project their feelings about what's happening onto you.
But once he
You
got
don't even
past the
allow
daughter
yourself-
part, I liked it.
I just think we don't even allow ourselves time to digest anything. Now, everybody loves the last 10 minutes of Chris Rock's special,
I'm
right?
not talking about the 10-minute part. I like where he's talking about storming the Capitol,
I thought
taking
that was
America
great.
back.
Those are my favorite parts. But everybody likes the Will thing. If you went into this special wanting to hear Chris talk about Will, did you pay any attention to anything else? If all you can think about is when are you gonna talk about Will? When are you gonna talk about Will? Are you allowing yourself to feel anything else, to hear anything else?
But he walked us into it with the foreshadowing. Like, I don't want a problem with no
With no other
rappers.
rappers,
with the
absolutely.
Jay-Z and the Beyonce thing. I think he did a good job with the foreshadow.
Break your rules, Schulz. Schulz does not like talking about other people's stand-up.
I don't, if comedians are in the news, I like talking about that.
Yes.
But I don't like
He's
talking,
in the news. He's all over the news.
You know, he's in the news for other things, like the Will Smith slap thing we talk about all the time.
Okay.
But comedians' art, gets enough criticism and that kind of stuff. I just like the comedian's art to speak for itself. And I like to hear non-comedians talk about it, but you have to understand, like, this, I know what it's like to go through to create an hour and to put it out there in front of people. It's like an incredibly vulnerable situation. So as comedians, it's hard for us to just go and pick apart these things.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've seen that set. This is my third time seeing the set. I saw it last summer at the Garden, and I saw it last month in North Charleston. When I saw it last summer at the Garden, he had no Will Smith material. When I saw it last month in North Charleston, he had a lot of that Will Smith material. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the emancipation joke, which y'all can kiss my ass. I thought was hilarious.
Man, were people upset about it?
Yes, you know what I mean? I thought that joke was funny as fuck.
People were actually upset about it?
You talking about the movie and the whipping?
Yeah.
For concussion? I didn't know Jada Pinkett called him, told him not to do that show.
Not to host, she started
everybody.
the whole
I can
shit.
say everybody knew that, but mad people knew that. You know what I mean?
That's terrible.
But the emancipation joke was funny when he said he was so mad at Will.
I watched
that he watched
Emancipation just to see him get whipped. Yeah.
That's a joke.
It was funny.
It's
hilarious.
a joke from a
It was
comedian.
funny.
It's a hilarious
I don't
joke.
even understand why people take that as anything literal.
He's
in any
not
way, shape, or
literally
form.
getting whipped in the movie either.
Exactly.
Nothing about this is real.
He's not
Nobody's
even
hurt.
He's not even making fun of slavery.
Yeah.
It's just an ill premise. It's hyperbole. Like, I watched Emancipation to watch Will Smith get whipped. Like, what? Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He could have said, I watched Ali again just to watch him lose to Frazier. Like, anything, you know?
Yeah.
It bothered me a little bit, just the live
Because
factor.
the internet told you to.
No, the live factor.
Because the internet told you to.
No, just the fact that he stumbled over that joke. So he kind of gave up the
Punchline, yeah.
the punchline before he hit
The
it.
live
Stumbled over it?
factor.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
he said...
Because he said the wrong name.
he goes-
it's called concussion.
See, I didn't even notice it because I saw it on the internet the day before.
Okay.
And everybody told me it was Emancipation, so I didn't even notice the second concussion.
in the live version, and this is the obviously the risk of doing something live. In the live version, he goes, Jada didn't want me to host the Oscars because her husband wasn't nominated for was Emancipation.
Yeah.
Oh, he meant to say concussion.
He meant to say
Okay.
concussion. The punchline is then concussion later. So he even says in the special, he goes, oh, I fucked up the joke.
Yeah.
And then it kind
He
of
didn't fuck
fucked
up the
up.
Emancipation joke, though.
It did
He
because
said that movie before.
supposed
He
to
was
come
supposed to
back.
say that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I
Yeah.
didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
To your point about live, I would never do a live stand-up.
I guess my feeling with the live stand-up thing is that, like, it doesn't. I understand creating a gimmick for someone to watch your special. I think that makes sense. That's marketing and that's smart. If he didn't have the Will Smith thing, do it live. Because now you have a gimmick. People go, well, I just want to see what could happen if he does it live, right?
No, I don't like live stand-up.
Well, just take this in. but he already had a hook. The most powerful
Everybody
hook in
wanted to see
stand-up
what he said.
history.
Yeah,
everybody wants to see what it. So don't add more pressure on the moment.
Yeah.
Just record 4 shows to use the best show, cut them together, do whatever you want. Do it. Nobody's watching it to see if you're going to get the words right or not. We want to watch you deliver your best performance. So that's what I would have wished that they focused on.
Yeah,
right
I hope that they did tape, him throughout his tour, because he wore the same thing every show he did.
Yeah.
He wore the white suit
Yeah.
with the Prince thing. So he did that. He's been doing that since last year at the Garden.
Yeah.
So I hope they do put out this special in the way it's supposed to be taped. But I wonder if he did the live thing just for him. Like I think everybody's saying, oh, he did that for Netflix. Maybe he did that to challenge himself.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna get $20 million from Netflix regardless.
I agree with that. I feel like he was trying to test his skill on the art.
It wasn't like it was a pay-per-view where they was paying for it. You know what I mean? I think he did that. Let me go out here and do this. I want to do this. By the way, he did create a spectacle. 48 Laws of Power say you got to create a compelling spectacle. And when have we ever seen everybody tuned into a stand-up special like it's a sporting event?
Yeah.
All the years we've watched stand-up specials on these big networks, these big platforms. And don't get me wrong, social media wasn't around for, the Raws and all of that back in the day. But the fact that everybody was tuned in on a Saturday night to this shit like it was a sporting event,
but that's
great for comedy.
But it's not because it's live.
I think it was because it was live.
Yeah.
Everything live. Everything live on social media is different shows. Everything.
That's not true.
Award shows.
I'll be honest
games.
with you. It's not true.
He'd have never got that many people watching that shit at one time like that on a Saturday night.
Yes, he would have.
Nah.
It's not because it's live. It's because of what happened.
If
It's because of what happened.
Yeah.
Listen, if they'd have just put this shit on Netflix, people would have watched it. But when everybody gathers around at one time to watch something, there's nothing like it on social media.
Bro, I know. The whole reason why we did the release the way that we did for my last special was specifically for it. There was a short window where you could watch it because I wanted everybody to watch it at the same time.
All right.
Right? And that was the issue with Netflix specials and specials in general, is that they would just sit there and everybody would get to them while they could. So I wanted to create some scarcity. Like, this is only up for now. So live does do that, don't get me wrong. But people weren't tuned in because it was live. They were tuned in because one of the greatest comics ever was about to deliver his revenge on a man who slapped him in the face and publicly humiliated him.
True, but they were tuned in because it was live, bro. It all goes hand in hand.
It's both.
It's definitely both.
Sure,
Absolutely both.
It's percentages.
He
I
doesn't
think
even
live
do
is
that live
Probably
without
like
that hook.
60-40.
10%.
He don't even do that live without that hook.
Doesn't do what?
He doesn't do the show live without the Will Smith hook to it.
Agreed.
What does that mean? I don't.
He
I don't
doesn't go
understand.
live if he doesn't have the Will Smith angle. If there's no Will Smith angle to this, like, oh, he got slapped at the Oscars, hasn't spoke about it in a year, he doesn't even go live. He just does a special like he's been doing it and puts it out. The fact he's got the Will Smith hook, let's bring everybody in. And I bet you the numbers for Saturday night was crazy.
Yeah, there's no question. I just wouldn't do it. And you said the same shit.
Yeah, I do not like live stand-up. I want to see.
You like live stand-up. You don't like watching it live through the TV.
But I'm a comedy connoisseur, so I go to comedy shows. So being that I go to comedy shows, I know what they expect. I know it's not perfect. I know they're going to be crowd work. I know they might stumble over shit and come back to it. When I'm watching it on TV, I don't want to see that because for the people who don't watch stand-up, they're overly critical of it.
But I still think he did a great job
I thought
nonetheless.
he bodied it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
He has some great bars.
Great bars.
He has some great bars, no question. And it's just listen, it was great to see that many people interested in stand-up. It's great that he created an event that people were curious about. And it's great that he got to finally, in Baltimore, and then finally reflect on like what happened and use his comedic genius to execute it,
Now somebody texted me and said, yo, you know that whole shit when he went off script and was calling Jada a bitch and, saying everybody called him a bitch, he winged that, right? And I'm like, no. First of all, I said, who told you that? And he was like, nah, somebody that was dead told me backstage. I was like, I was in North Charleston last month. He did the same exact thing, including the shout out. Because I started to correct him and be like, I never called Will Smith a bitch, but I'm like, wait a minute.
I gotta get
This
my
might
name
make
in
the
this
special.
shit.
Like, wait a minute. This might be for the special. I'm like, it's February. Special comes out next month. I know this ain't off the cuff. Let me mind my goddamn business. Let me mind my mother. By the way, white people love Chris Rock.
What do you mean?
Man, I had some white people texting me. I had one white person text me who is a very, very, very powerful human. And he was like, man, just heard Chris Rock shout you out. And he put very, 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 very impressed. And I'm like, what is he impressed about? The special? Or just him shouting me out? I don't know what it was.
He's impressed that you're
think he means a
influential
shout
enough
out.
that you're getting a
Yeah.
shout out. I will say that's
Whatever.
cool about Chris Rock is that getting a Chris Rock shout out in a special feels like a rapper putting you in his bars. You know, like
Which rapper, though?
doesn't like a fire rapper, like.
Depends which rapper. I've been mentioned by a lot of rappers. It
I
depends
mean,
which
Drake.
rapper.
But you remember the first time you were mentioned by someone you respect, and how you felt,
Somebody I respect? Yeah, I do actually. It was T.I.
and wasn't that
T.I.
cool?
said, T.I. said in the bar, he said, I'm a god like Charlamagne. It was one of his mixtapes. I forgot which one it was. Absolutely.
But that's cool. Like even like he shout out Jason Momoa.
It's different, though.
What do you mean?
It's different. I'll give you an example. Like, Chris Rock's special is more like Drake dropping back-to-back. It's an event. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's tuned into this event.
Yeah.
It's the, you get mentioned in a rap bar, it's cool. Oh, that was dope. That's my man. But when it's an event that everybody's paying attention to,
Yeah.
it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
It can immortalize you in a different way.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I guess what I'm saying, that's awesome. That like
I'm just mad like Chris didn't tell people to give me anything. Like I still get bottles now because of Drake.
oh really?
Right. I could be in a random restaurant and somebody will send me a bottle. And then they'll be like, oh, that's due over there. And you're like, bottles to Charlamagne. Especially Indians for some reason.
They like that.
Oh my, it's unbelievable.
classy individuals,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was cool. I thought creating the event was great.
Unbelievable.
Building the hype was great. Executing the revenge is great. And being at a stage where if you talk about somebody, if you say their fucking name, they're excited. You know what I mean? Like, it is cool to be mentioned by this guy. So I thought that was great.
Absolutely.
He didn't call and let you know he's gonna do that. You found out while watching.
Well, I saw it last month.
Yeah.
I saw it when he did it at the North Charleston Coliseum.
I know. I'm asking about then.
Oh, no. No, he ain't say nothing. I mean, I never called Will Smith a bitch. Not that I remember. I don't think I did.
Don't ruin the joke, bro.
But I thought the point of it was that it was
Don't ruin
a
a
joke.
joke,
Like, think
bro.
about who he named. You think The View called Will Smith a bitch? Like, come on. Now, did I have my thoughts about the whole entanglement red table talk thing? Yes, we talked about that, but I never called him a bitch. But either way, I appreciate the shout out. I thought it was
I
fantastic.
think it's great.
You know?
I think it's great.
And I just enjoyed the special overall. And I'm looking forward to everybody else because, like I said, I saw Kevin's new material, which will probably change because Chris has changed. Chris's royal family shit was funny.
Yeah, that was
But the shit he said last summer was even funnier. And I know he changed it because the queen died.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like he had like 3 bars about the whole queen thing, and it was what made it so dope is it was based off personal experience.
Yeah.
Because he's Chris Rock, he's been famous for a long time. I'm not going to step on it because he didn't put it in the special, but like he had a bit in there about the queen that made that whole shit even funnier.
Yeah.
Wait, couldn't you say it now though? Since
What do you mean?
I mean, couldn't you say it now? He's not gonna use those bars.
Well, I mean, if he didn't use it, I don't want to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny.
I'll tell y'all after the podcast. But it was funny. It's just some funny shit.
Yeah.
But Kevin's new shit is funny, and to your point, it's super personal.
Yeah.
But that probably will change because his father passed away. You know what I mean? Dave's new shit is super personal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you offend every other community, you have nothing else to talk about but yourself now at this point. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. I think that's where comedy goes.
Hasn't it always, though?
I feel like it
Not
always.
necessarily, because if you look at guys like Chris Rock, guys like Chris Rock have exploded early on by having like great topical takes on the issues that were like plaguing society, right? Issues on race and politics and gender dynamics. George Carlin, same thing, politics, right? Race and like. You look at those people, and they were a voice at a time where many people were voiceless. There wasn't Twitter, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't YouTube videos.
You're right, yeah.
Now we live in a time.
And topics didn't feel so dated.
Exactly. Now we live in a time where the topical joke, everybody's gonna have a take. You're competing with 100 million people on the internet. Like, people are going to have your same take about Chris Brown, the same take about Beyonce, the same take about the Ohio disaster. Like, it's impossible to not share a take about something. So how do you make yourself more unique? How do you separate yourself? And I think it's just what is happening to you personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's just where at least comedy specifically is going to go.